Hello, today we are going to be making our stamps for our next project for printmaking. We are making spider webs, so keep that in mind when designing it. What we need is a dull pencil and a little piece of this plastic foam stuff. We are going to use our pencil to draw our pattern on. We want to make sure that we're pushing down nice and hard so we get lines, but we don't want to push too hard or else we'll go right through the foam. So I've made my little indent so you can kind of see how that looks like a spider web. And now I'm going to decorate it using geometric type shapes. I'm going to add on my finishing touches using my dull pencil, remembering to push down nice and hard. And bam, I am done with my stamp and we can start inking it up. Now that our stamp is done, we can roll up our ink so we can start printing it. I'm going to use my brayer and I am going to drag it across the ink. Notice I'm not just rolling back and forth, but I am picking up my brayer each time I do that. Now that my brayer has plenty of ink on it, I can start printing my stamp. Notice my stamp is on placemat paper. This gets super messy. So with one little finger in a corner, I am going to hold it down while I roll up my stamp. And similar, I'm not just going to take my brayer and roll it back and forth. I'm going to pull it up, and when I need to get that little corner, I can move my finger. So now that there is ink everywhere on it, except in the indents, I can print it onto my paper. I am going to move my placemat paper out of the way and bring in my nice paper. I'm going to lay it down with the ink onto the paper and set it down. This is really important. You need to take a finger and hold it in place because now I need to rub it so the ink gets off. I'm going to take my hand and rub it really good, and when I get that side done, I'm going to transfer hands and rub this one down. You really want to make sure you're rubbing so all of the ink lays down. Now that I've rubbed it completely, I can remove the stamp and bam, I have ink on my paper. We need a total of 6 of these, so I'm going to move my paper back out of the way, bring my placemat paper over and roll it up again. So I'm going to take my brayer and get some more ink on it and do the same thing that I did last time, but this time putting more ink onto my stamp. Now that I have all 6 printed, I'm going to make sure my name is someplace on the paper, and then you guessed it, you're going to take it over to the drying rack so it can dry, and then the next time we are going to cut them out. So now that I have all of mine printed, I can cut them out. So now that I have all 6 cut out, I'm going to save one for myself and trade the 5 others with other people. So here are other people's that I've just traded for. So now I have 6 in total, 1 being mine and 5 others being our other friends. I'm going to get a black piece of paper and I'm going to start arranging the spider web. I might want to make it a little bit more square and even, and make sure that they all fit together. Perfect. So I like where they are. That one's a little long, but I don't mind that. So now I'm going to use glue to glue them down. I'm going to glue one piece down at a time. So I'm going to take the one I'm gluing down and put 4 dots at each corner. We don't want too much glue. And then I'm going to place it where I want it and stick it down. So now that I have them all glued down where I want them, I'm going to go around and make sure I push them all down so they stay in place. And if there's one that, I think is a little off, I can move it or adjust it a little bit. So now I am going to take a white pencil and fill in the center of my spider web. So now that I have my center done, I'm going to draw a few lines out so it connects to something. So I'm going to take my white pencil and go along the diagonals that I already have to guide me, and I'm going to pull those out. And then, if I'm feeling up to it, I could make some big spider webs or whatever you like on the outside. And bam, we are done with our spider web. Today, I'm going to show you how we make our Anasi for our center of the spider web. First, I'm going to take a little piece of black paper and I am going to draw a pretty large oval on it for his body and his head. Next, I'm going to cut out my oval and I'm going to cut out some strips of paper to go along with it for the legs. In total, we need 8 legs plus our Anasi body. So now I can start cutting the lower section of his legs. I have my short pieces of paper and long pieces of paper. But first I'm going to glue them down. So I'm just going to put one dot right in the middle so I can stick all of my legs underneath. Next, what I'm going to do is take one of my long strips of paper and tuck it under. Don't worry about gluing the side that's in the body. We are going to worry about gluing the one end though, so I'm only gluing on the tip that is sticking out. The other one is right under the body. Again, I'm sticking it under the piece of paper, under the body, and then all I'm worrying about gluing is right up top. I'm taking a little dot and I can push that down. If it's too tricky to slide it under and then glue it, you could put a little dot of glue at the one end that's not going underneath the spider, very carefully flip it over and slide it under, and then all you have to do is press down. Now I need to move on to the lower parts of my legs. To decorate my Anasi, I just use some different paint, and to get the white eyes, I dipped the end of my paintbrush in white and dabbed them right where I thought they needed to go. And if there's any other details that you'd like to add on, now would be the time. And you could do that with the end of your brush to decorate them.